The camera pans across a bustling newsroom, screens flashing with headlines, phones ringing and reporters scrambling. A dramatic sting of music cuts through the chaos, as the anchor, poised and intense, leans into the camera. Good evening, America. Tonight we dive into a courtroom clash that set Washington ablaze. Supreme Court Justices, Coney Barrett and John Roberts, titans of the judiciary, thought they could outmaneuver one of the world's most polarizing innovators, Elon Musk. What unfolded was a legal showdown that revealed not just the brilliance of a tech mogul, but a battle over power, principle, and the future of American law. Stay with us as we unpack this electrifying saga. The screen transitions to a sleek courtroom packed with spectators, tension crackling in the air. The narrator's voice, sharp and gripping, sets the stage. Narrator: It was a crisp April morning when the Supreme Court took up a case that pitted the Trump administration's aggressive deportation policy against a coalition of civil rights advocates. At the heart of the storm was Elon Musk, the billionaire, spearheading the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, and his controversial push to slash federal spending. Justices Coney Barrett and John Roberts, often seen as conservative stalwarts, joined the court's liberal wing in a ruling that blocked Musk's attempt to freeze $2 billion in foreign aid. The decision was a slap in the face to Musk, and whispers in the halls of power suggested Barrett and Roberts aimed to put the tech titan in his place. But Musk, never one to back down, fired back with a legal strategy that left the justices reeling. The scene shifts to a dramatic reenactment of a private chamber in the Supreme Court where Barrett and Roberts confer before the public debate. The camera zooms in on their intense exchange. Coney Barrett: Elon Musk thinks he can rewrite the rules of governance with a tweet and a smirk. His DOGE initiative is reckless, freezing funds Congress already approved. We can't let him bypass the law. John Roberts: Agreed. His bravado might play well on X, but this is the Supreme Court. We uphold the Constitution, not his ego. Let's make that clear in our ruling. Narrator: But Musk wasn't just a billionaire with a flair for headlines. He was a strategist, a man who built empires by outthinking his opponents. When the court's ruling came down, Musk didn't sulk, he struck. He filed a blistering appeal backed by a legal team that turned the case into a referendum on judicial overreach. The stage was set for a public showdown, a rare moment where the justices faced Musk himself in a heated oral argument. The scene shifts to the Supreme Court's grand chamber. The justices seated high on the bench, Musk standing at a podium, his eyes sharp and unyielding. The gallery buzzes with anticipation. Narrator: What followed was a debate for the ages, a clash of intellect and ideology that exposed the fault lines of a divided nation. Coney Barrett: Mr. Musk, your DOGE initiative claims to streamline government, but freezing $2 billion in aid for work already completed violates congressional intent. How do you justify bypassing the law? Elon Musk: Justice Barrett, with respect. The law isn't a blank check. Congress may have approved those funds, but DOGE's mandate is to cut waste. That $2 billion was tied to redundant programs, bloated contracts, and foreign entities with questionable accountability. I'm not bypassing the law. I'm enforcing efficiency, which the American people demand. John Roberts: Mr. Musk, efficiency doesn't trump due process. The Constitution grants Congress the power of the purse. Your actions suggest you believe you're above that framework. Are you arguing the executive can override legislative authority at will? Elon Musk: Not at all, Chief Justice. I'm arguing that the executive has a duty to act when Congress fails to oversee its own spending. The Constitution doesn't mandate waste. DOGE's cuts were surgical based on data your court hasn't even asked to see. I'd be happy to provide it. Narrator: Musk's confidence was disarming, but Barrett wasn't swayed. She leaned forward, her voice cutting through the chamber like a blade. Coney Barrett: You speak of data, Mr. Musk, but your approach is chaos. You froze aid without notice, leaving organizations stranded. That's not efficiency, it's disruption. The law requires stability, not your brand of revolution. Elon Musk: Justice Barrett, stability can be stagnation. Those organizations you defend, many are NOSs with overlapping missions siphoning funds while delivering minimal impact. My team's analysis, peer-reviewed by the way, shows 40% of that $2 billion was redundant. If the court wants stability, It should demand accountability, not blind loyalty to broken systems. Narrator. The gallery murmured, some nodding, others shaking their heads. Roberts, sensing the momentum shifting, pressed harder. John Roberts, your analysis, Mr. Musk, isn't the law. You're asking this court to rubber stamp your vision of governance. What's to stop you from declaring any budget line item waste and slashing it? That's a dangerous precedent. Elon Musk, Chief Justice, the danger is in doing nothing. Government spending has ballooned to $6 trillion annually with deficits piling up. DOGE isn't arbitrary. We've published our methodology on X for the world to see. If the court rejects transparency and innovation, it's not me setting a bow by precedent, it's you entrenching bureaucracy. Narrator. The room fell silent. Musk's words weren't just a defense, they were an accusation. A challenge to the court's relevance in a rapidly changing world. Barrett, undeterred, fired back. Amy Coney Barrett, transparency. You call it transparency, when you act first and explain later. The Constitution doesn't bend to your timelines, Mr. Musk. Your dog cuts disrupted lives, real people, not just numbers on a spreadsheet. Elon Musk, Justice Barrett, I respect your concern for people, but let's talk about lives. Every dollar wasted on inefficient programs is a dollar not spent on schools, hospitals, or infrastructure. My cuts freed up $500 million for domestic priorities last quarter alone. If that's disruption, it's disruption with a purpose. Narrator Roberts, his face unreadable, shifted the focus, probing Musk's broader philosophy. John Roberts, you frame yourself as a savior of the public good, but your methods invite chaos. If every executive appointee wielded power like you, what's left of checks and balances? Elon Musk, checks and balances exist to protect liberty, not paralysis. DOGE operates under Trump's executive authority, accountable to him, and ultimately the voters. If you're worried about power, look at unelected bureaucrats who've run the system for decades without scrutiny. I'm the one exposing them. Narrator. The debate raged for hours, each side unyielding. Barrett and Roberts pushed for precedent and restraint. Musk countered with innovation and urgency. But it was Musk's closing argument that left the court stunned. Elon Musk justices, you have a choice. You can cling to a system that's failing. $34 trillion in debt, agencies drowning in red tape. Or you can recognize that progress demands bold action. DOGE isn't perfect, but it's a start. If you strike us down, you're not just stopping me. You're telling the American people their government can't change. I trust you'll choose wisely. Narrator. The chamber erupted in whispers. Barrett and Roberts exchanged glances, their confidence shaken. Had they underestimated Musk? His legal brief, filed postering, was a masterstroke. 300 pages of data, precedent, and constitutional analysis that forced the court to reconsider. The scene shifts back to the newsroom. The anchor gripping the desk, eyes wide. Anchor. In a stunning turn, the Supreme Court issued a rare stay, pausing its own ruling to review Musk's evidence. Legal scholars called it unprecedented, a testament to Musk's audacity and intellect. But the fallout was fierce on X. Musk's supporters hailed him as a genius, while critics accused him of bullying the judiciary. Barrett and Roberts, once seen as untouchable, now face scrutiny for their initial dismissal of Musk's case. The camera zooms in on the anchor's face, voice lowering. Anchor, this isn't just a legal battle, it's a cultural earthquake. Will Musk's vision reshape the government, or will the court reassert its authority? One thing's clear. Elon Musk has proven he's not just a tech mogul, he's a legal force to be reckoned with. Stay tuned as this story unfolds. The screen fades to black. The words "to be continued" pulsing in bold, dramatic music swells, leaving viewers on edge.